morning, gang. I'm on to a tricky project this time round. It's number 5 on my autumn winter sewing list, and it's my Christmas dress. It's from this wonderful book, which you see me talk about quite a lot. What I'm wearing today, this is the quilted patchwork jacket that I hacked into a reversible gilet vest. So it's fab. It's quite cozy. This is what I'm attempting. Fingers crossed. Difficulty level, it states is intermediate. There's a lot more in it than I thought, so I'm slightly concerned. But there's a lot of work to do, which is why I'm going to do it over 2 weeks. So to start, I have my main fabric. I'm going for a brocade, and it is beautiful. It's got a lovely, lovely red, and then a sort of a slightly sort of royal blue colour built in there as well, but it's mostly black. So it's perfect that I'm going to be able to wear this, so I can make it really, really cozy, and I can wear it with tights, or I could wear it on its own if I want to do it a little bit more fancy. There's a lining to it. I didn't even read that part. So I'm missing quite a few things on this that I need to get before I can even start. Talking of the fabric, I've checked this time. After the incident with my ruffle collar shirt, I've checked the width of my fabric. It's not quite still the recommended amount, so it recommends that this be 60 inches wide. My fabric is 58 inches wide, so I think it will be enough. So it's going to be fine. And it says you need 2.6 meters, and I think I've got 3, so I've got some room in there. Hopefully it'll be okay. I do, however, need 80 centimeters of 60-inch wide lining fabric. Also 1.3 meters of interfacing, which sounds like an awful lot of interfacing. And it's because the pleat detail is heavily interfaced, so I'm sure that's probably what gives it its structure. That's going to be where most of that is needed, and they're really long strips that go the whole way, so it makes sense. I also need a 56 centimeter invisible zip, which I haven't got either, so I'm going to need to have a look into that. This is the only thing that's frustrating and annoying about this book, is prepping the pattern pieces. So you get your pattern pack, and all of the patterns are on this. There are multiple prints on each double-sided pattern piece. So you have to find the pattern piece, and then make sure you're tracing the right lines. So it's a bit crazy, and it makes your brain hurt. I have my trusty roll of pattern paper. So you have to check on the little guide on each side and have a look, because they're all on different ones. So it's not that, you know, this trouser pattern is just on one thing, this dress pattern is just on one thing. They're all jumbled up over all of the different pages. So first things first, what I'm going to concentrate on this week is tracing out all of the pattern pieces, getting them all cut out so that I've got everything ready. Then I can go shopping at some point. I'm supposed to be on a fabric ban, but I accidentally bought some fabric this morning from a website that I really like that sells dead stock fabrics. So I don't feel as guilty because it's dead stock. You know, that's absolutely acceptable in my eyes, because I might not ever be able to get it again. And it's amazing, but that's for another time. I'm not happy with these sleeves. You know, I love a more interesting sleeve. This just looks a bit too standard. Like, nice, not for me. So I need to consider some options of what to do with these sleeves. Now, I love watching fantasy shows, so things like Game of Thrones. We recently just watched The Wheel of Time, and there is a dress on there that the main character wears. I keep calling her Maureen. And there's a dress on there that she wears that's absolutely beautiful. But there's a lot of other dresses that I noticed throughout the series that had this particular type of sleeve, which I really like. So I'm going to see whether I think it will work really, really well with this dress style. It's going to be much, much better. First of all, before any of that can start, I need to look at measuring, and this time round I'm determined to get the measuring correct, and hopefully I'm actually going to get something that fits me just right. I need to fill you in because I've got a bit carried away. You know, sometimes when everything is just going to plan and it's going right and it's moving and it's working and you just get momentum and you just go, 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 go. Well, that has happened, which I needed because I think there's going to be a lot to do. Like, I just want to see and just want to make sure that everything is going to fit on my fabric. So I've laid my fabric out and I've pinned all the pieces to the fabric to check. And I've got to the sleeve part basically. And I remembered I have this, I found this particular pattern that's lots of different sleeve options for ages, knowing that I could interchange them and put them onto other projects because I like sleeves. And looking at it, I'm going to probably have a look at option C to add because of the amount of fabric that's left at the bottom. The bigger the sleeve, the crazier the pattern piece that you need. Why do I have to have such an obsession with sleeves? I just need to not care. Just have a normal sleeve. It's the following week, and this is how far I have got. All the pieces are cut and they're interfaced where they need to be interfaced, which is the two neck facings and all of the pleat strips. So there are 8 pleat strips here. I had enough to do the sleeve that I wanted to do, which is great. And it's this interesting shape. We'll see what happens with this. I raided my fabric stash for a lining so that I didn't have to spend any money, and hopefully it meant that I could get it cut out when I was doing all of that part last weekend. My husband will tell you otherwise, but this is where my fabric stash hoarding completely pays off. We have this lining fabric. So this is like a royal blue bridal satin. I've purchased a zip, so I have a 22-inch invisible zip for the back, which is the only fastening that I need. And now we get on to, I can't believe how long the prep takes sometimes to even get to the point where you're just then able to start actually sewing. Sewing is such a small part of what you do to make stuff. It's really mad. And this fabric, oh, it's messy. So this brocade is, I've never sewn with brocade before. This is my first time with brocade. And it's very frayy and bitty. My ironing board, after even just doing the interfacing parts, is absolutely covered in bits. So I'm going to stay stitch the front and back necklines. And then we're going to construct the faux pleat panels. So I've pinned a set right sides together, and now what it's saying to do on the what is the outer edge of the pleat, you're going to sew the short edge all the way along the long outer edge and then the short edge again. So we're just going to leave, and it says the side with the double notches will be the side to leave open that will fit inside the seam. So this is just going to be the faux pleat that goes over the shoulders, down the front and down the back. So this is what has happened after completing this. So this is the side that's unsewn. So I just lay them on here so that I can visualize it to make sure that it kind of works okay and looks okay. So I've sewn all the way around so that this pleat is on both sides. I mean, it looks really cool on the shoulder already with how it's going to come out, which is nice. So then it's all the way, and then it's finished at the bottoms as well. Now I've graded inside all of this seam allowance because this brocade is quite thick. Okay, a little update from pig dipping in and out today. The pleats are done, so now I'm on to some more cool bits. I've got two side front panels, and they have got just some bust darts in here. So I've got those two bits in, and I've just popped it onto Margaret just to help visualize and work out which pieces go where, etc. I find that that's really, really helpful. I don't like this type of body form. Really, I wouldn't recommend them. I would love to have a really nice body form, but they're so expensive. And this one I got really, I think I got it free with an offer for something one time, and it's awful. You can't get the right measurements on it. It's really just flimsy, and yeah, they're not great. This is the back panel. So you had like a center front seam that runs down here, and these are the two back panel pieces. And there is an invisible zip in here. I was really worried about doing this part. I hate zips. I've done an invisible zip before. I try and avoid them. This is literally, I think, no, this is the third time I've done an invisible zip, and progressively has got better each time, which is good. We like progress. So my invisible zip is in. There's no bump. There's no issue. It is absolutely seamless all the way and then to where it joins. So I'm really pleased that that has come out. Whether it looks as good on the inside after the lining's been added as well, I don't know, but it doesn't matter because that's going to be on the inside. So as long as the outside looks really good, who cares about the inside if it's going to look a little bit messy? I think I need to start joining bits and stuff together at like the shoulder areas, and I don't know, we'll see what we're on to next, but it's time to get exciting. Hooray! We are on to day 4. So I'm still going, dipping in and out. I knew this was going to be a longer project to do, so I gave myself over 2 weekends to attempt it and get it done. So the pleat is sandwiched in between what is the joined side panels and then the joined middle and back panels. So then you put them in between on the princess seam line and then sew that all together. It's a very bulky seam on the inside. I'm going to be doing a fit, so I'm going to put the other side on. I'll put the other section onto this part with the pleat as well. It's giving very 80s shoulder pad vibes with the pleat at the top, and I am obsessed with that. And I think with then adding the big sleeve on as well, it's going to be really amazing. The other thing that I need to look at and adjust later on is on the pattern itself, because I added 4 inches onto the end of the length because I'm quite tall. I don't want it really short, so I added some on, but didn't really take into account what that would mean for where the pleat was. I should have checked that first, but hey ho. Is I am going to pin all of the side seams together, but with safety pins to what the seam allowance is, and then try it on and then have a little look how it fits and see if we're okay for the fit. So both of the sections are all done, and I've done the side seams. So I tried it on with the sewing safety pins at a 1.5 seam allowance, which is what the pattern says for the seam allowances. So I pinned it at 1.5 centimeters, tried it on, and there was a bit of room in there still. I kind of wanted it to be a little bit tighter. So I've sewn both of the seam allowances at 2 centimeter seam allowance. I definitely didn't need to add the 4 inches onto the length, because where I've added that on, it takes it to knee length and it looks really weird. So I am going to be able to take that right up and finish it exactly where the pleats finished, and then it's still not that short. I was worried it was going to be really short, but it's not. It's really, really good. But for now, we'll talk about what I did with the sleeves. This is one sleeve. This is how they've come out. I would not recommend these sleeves to make if you don't like annoying fiddly things, because trying to get all of this into this cuff band was, oh dear. But this is how they're going to fit in, and then they're going to be on here. Oh, they're so cute. I think they're perfect for this dress. I think the style of them is exactly spot on. So that's really, really good. I've just got to hope that that they fit into the armhole. Okay. I put one of the sleeves up my arm to test it, and it's really tight. I've cut it to a 14, which I'm not 100% sure how that references, because it's, you know, the annoying pattern sizing that you get on like patterns. I just did it as a 14. I probably should have checked it. I don't know if there was any measurements. I didn't even look to see if there was any measurements of things. But I finished the inside. I stitched them together, and then I overlocked the seam on the inside. So luckily, I've got enough room in here that what I'm going to do, because it is so snug right under my armpit, I'm going to release the stitch line. I'll leave the overlocking stitch all intact to keep it together. I need to hand stitch all the inside. Let me show you what the inside looks like, because it's really, really nice. I need to just hand sew all the way around to hide all of the join and the gather stitches under there. Remember on earlier in the video when I said that I bought some naughty fabric from a dead stock wholesaler that I use? Well, it came today and I want to share it because I'm super excited about it. I don't know what I'm going to make with it, but I had to get it because it was awesome. So it is a sequin overlay fabric, and it is black sequins with fuchsia centers on them, and I bought quite a lot because I want to make something really epic with it. I think my idea is, just for reference, is to have something sort of this like cerise fuchsia kind of pink, and then have this as the overlay on the top to kind of bring out the pink, but then it's sparkly at the same time, kind of retro with the flowers and stuff. I just, yeah, I fell in love with it, and it's a bargain because it's dead stock as well. I had to get it. Mm. Oh, hey, it's in a whole another week, but I'm determined to make sure I get this finished. It's only 3 weeks until my Christmas do that I need to wear this as well. The sleeves are still snug around the actual armhole. They've gone in absolutely fine. So where I've had to join them here is no issue. It's not been a problem at all. I haven't had to really gather too much to fit them into the top of the sleeve head. I'm not gonna, I can put it on and it's okay, but it's, if my arm's up here, it's tight on this section here. So something isn't quite right with the fitting. but I've got no other choice. It's acceptable to wear. It looks absolutely acceptable to wear. They look really good the way that they hang and the way that the sleeves sit when it's on as well, which is fab. But I won't be doing too much above my head action with this on. Be careful with brocade and sewing with brocade. It's really crazy how easily, I mean, I've just noticed this up here, which I might see if I can try and trim down because it's quite obvious. You can pull and catch all of the raised sort of detailing on the fabric. It's really, you have to be really careful. When I tried it on again after I put the sleeves on, I also am not 100% sure about this part, like, because it sticks out here. Like, I love this sort of profile and the sort of how this sticks out, the shoulder parts and stuff. It's really nice, but you don't really want anything sticking out and making this waist part look wider. And they do, they kind of, they flap out. It's a bit so I'm wondering whether after it's complete from the waist down, I may sort of look at tacking, like invisible tacking, all of this pleat to the main fabric so that it holds it flat for a nicer sort of shape. So we're moving on and we're going on to the next part, which is lining, adding the lining and facing to the inside. And I need to work out actually how to finish the arms. Like, I didn't overlock the edges of the arm holes, so they're just joined in there really rough and really raw. Really, I don't want to go at it with an overlocker. The risk element of overlocking the armhole after and then taking a chunk out of somewhere else is too risky. The lining is done. So this is how it will sit, but against my body on the inside. But just to kind of show you it, if you don't like sewing curves, don't make this dress. This is two shapes that should not go together, it seems. It's very, very tricky. The back ones aren't so bad. They're kind of a little bit easier to do. But this one, I mean, luckily, obviously, this is going to be on the inside, so no one's going to ever see it. But it's so tricky to get these two to sit together nicely. It is clipped and notched into oblivion on the reverse. So they're acceptable. They're kind of okay. It's just going to be on the inside, so it doesn't matter. And it's done. Obviously, it's two completely different types of fabric going together as well, which also doesn't make it very easy to do. But hopefully it just means that the dress will lay nicer because of the bridal satin being a bit more slippy. I think we're going to need to cut this part because the dress has got like a V-neck detail, which isn't on this facing bit, but it's got to, yeah, surely it's going to have that so that it can be done with the other side. But yeah, I just got to get all of this now to go on the inside. Oh, it's nice though, bridal satin. I feel like it's going to be really cool on the inside. Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay, let's talk about it. Good things that we like. The shoulder shape, the sleeve shape, absolutely stunning. I really love the shimmeriness when you get the fabric in the light. It's kind of metallic-y, the red colour, which is really festive. Things I don't like about it is where the pleats start coming out here. Like, these are, I feel like they're a hazard, but they need to stay down. I mean, even if they were to stop maybe in the pattern, if they had sort of like a different option, might have been quite nice, sort of like cut it off and have like a waist join on the bodice to the skirt and then have the skirt different. I think it'd make a really, really fab top bodice for a different type of project. I mean, it's very House of Dragon, I feel, with these shoulders, which I saw quite a lot in the series, and I'm mega excited about the new series that's coming out next year. Hopefully, loads of amazing costumes as per. But I think if you were to chop that off to here and then add like a massive, great big sort of like fantasy skirt on it, it would make an epic outfit. But anyway, for now, I think it was a lot of effort for what has been achieved, if I'm honest. So it's fully lined inside apart from the sleeves. I have not done anything with the sleeve join to the bodice inside. It's completely raw. It's an absolute mess. And I'm going to leave it. I'm not doing anything about it because it's too much faff and effort. I don't know whether it necessarily needs the lining inside. It's not really making any benefit for me, if I'm honest. Obviously you need like the facings and stuff to finish the neckline inside, but whether the face like the lining doesn't particularly help with movement or anything like that or fit. So I don't know, you could probably get away with not doing that part of this if you wanted to, and maybe just doing the facing on the inside and sort of finding a way to keep that in place inside, maybe. But overall, very, very pleased. I definitely am going to wear her for my Christmas party. I even had enough to make myself a little bow scrunchie because I will wear my hair like this with it, with this sort of big shoulder and neck situation going on. You definitely need a hair up option with this. But yay, thank you again for watching as always. Sorry this one took such a long time, but it really, really was a lot of effort. But yay, thanks for watching. See you soon.